6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
So, good morning to everybody. Today we have Cheng from Taiwan. I already put it like his own link, YouTube, Twitter, on the description of the video. Today we will have like two short interview just to be updated. There is a lot of good news, bad news, a lot of news. So let's try to restart. This regular weekly stream. We're trying to remake a little bit something like one-to-one short 45 minutes interview just to make it more usable by the public. So let me update one moment about the situation in Italy and in Europe, then we will go to Far Eastern Ukraine. So what I wanted to say, and I'll super update about what will be in politics, mainly in Italy. We will have the regional election of some region in this year, especially Sardinia, and there is also one law about the possibility of the candidates to be re-elected on the big municipalities and big regions after the third mandate. So now you can do only two. And the party that is in the majority now, that is like Brother of Italy, is against this thing, because now this party have at least 30% of the voters. What does it mean? That this party is like trying to contending especially one big region in the northeast, that it's Veneto. Why it's very important, all of this? Because there is a draining of the votes inside the center-right to one single parties. Why it's important in geopolitics? Because this party is like ruling the center-right parties in the European Union, and is, let's say, convincing Orban to change Fidesz group in the European Parliament. So everything that is happening in Southern Europe, it's also like, let's say, changing a little bit what will happen in the Eastern Europe, especially Hungary. Why I'm talking about this? Because Hungary was every time the only country that was forcing to make the veto against any solution for Ukraine. And the real reason, it's about money. It's not about Ukraine, because Hungary was in a situation with European funding blocked. And so, Orban was trying to pushing with this thing of Ukraine, like just to have more money from the European Union. So we are returning to the same thing, that something it's like the ideology, pro-Ukraine, not pro-Ukraine, whatever, but the real thing that singular countries are waiting from the European Union. It's like money support and whatever. But returning back, so to Cheng, like I am trying to put some question for you. So we can a little bit talk about like some issues. Let's start with the first one. How long this Taiwan stalemate situation can last, and what the feeling the Taiwanese have toward China?
What is the stalemate means? I'm sorry, the stalemate. But I didn't.
Stalemate. So let's say, especially if you can explain to the Western audience about after the presidential election, because the last time that we had a
election
review, it was before the election in Taiwan. So if you can explain a little bit what happened in the election and what is the situation between this complicated relationship with People Republic of China.
Okay. The first is about our election. Our election is very it's a strange, the most strange election currently so far, because that before the election we only have the DPP about the poor U.S. party and the KMT for China party, only two party. But now this year we have three party. The first is DPP, the second is KMT, the third is called the TMD, it's Taiwanese international party. So this election result is very strange. The result is that the poor U.S. party has gained the government control, but in the parliament we have three party, the KMT party and the TMD party and the DPP party. So the government will remain in same, just the president will change to Lai Ching-te. But the parliament, I mean something bill and some budget will have a very severe variety of change. And currently in Taiwan, there are two most popular issues. The first issue is that the Wang Zhi'an problem. The Wang Zhi'an is a China celebrity. This also affected to the relation with people of the republic in China. This relationship is called like Wang Zhi'an has come to Taiwan for visit tour, and he commented a lot of the Taiwanese politics. And one day, in one talk show, and he imitated the candidate of the disabled person. I mean the crippled, the disabled person. So he was being strongly criticized and outraged by the Taiwanese people, and Taiwanese government banned 5 years for the Wang Zhi'an and don't get out. Why this each topic is popular? Because that Wang Zhi'an has several times commented about the Taiwanese election and has a lot of criticism against the Taiwanese election. So, but because Wang Zhi'an is from people of Republic in China, so his comments are thought to be very sensitive, and many Taiwanese people doesn't like the people of Republic China citizens to criticize Taiwanese people, because the China and Taiwan relationship is more it has more tension, it's more intense since the 2022. We are in a very intense, nervous relationship. And the second thing is that there are one fish boat, China fish boat, which is arrested by Taiwanese police, marine police, because the Taiwanese marine police found that the China fish boat has crossed the line, so it's from the China's area to the Taiwan area, because we are just between. So our police arrest them, but the fish boat trying to escape the sea police, and the boat has been bunked. So there are 4 people was dropped to the sea, and 2 people died. So this thing is very happened in February 14, and this is considered to be something nervous or some big incident between Taiwan and China, because Taiwanese government killed, or more specifically was chased the 2 China citizens and make that 2 China citizens killed. And today the China government said, okay, we will send our sea police troop to strengthen our border. So, but the problem is, what is the border exactly in China's definition? It may be considered part of Taiwan, like Kinmen, a Taiwanese island, or maybe not. But currently, so far as my information from the military, let's say okay, doesn't matter because China doesn't want to provoke the situation. It wants to cool down and save its economy. So I think this incident will be ended peacefully. Yeah, that is the two major things happening in Taiwan and China is very popular.
The other question that I wanted to ask to you was about political relationship between Taiwan and Philippines.
Very certain relationship with Taiwan and Malaysia is more.
But I asked to you because there is a lot of, let's say, strange relationship between China and Philippines.
Taiwan.
Yeah,
Philippines.
China and Philippines. And why I'm asking to you this because I was in Philippines in November, and they said to me, I was working with a military officer and with a friend, and he said to me that the actual government that is, let's say, in the last 30 years, nothing changed in Philippines because the president changed. But for example, now the president is Marcos. The vice president is the daughter of the previous president that was of another party. So it's like two big families that are contending the presidencies, and the actual president it's the son of the previous president. So it's like a family business in Philippines. So the main thing was that the previous president had an agreement with the People Republic of China to have a huge investment about the construction of a new high-speed train in Philippines. And there was agreement, blah, blah, blah. But at the end, the money didn't came. So I decided to cut off the agreement and start a new deal with the US. So there is any type of, for example, economical relationship between, let's say, Taiwan and Philippines and Japan, like these two, let's say, neighbor countries that are like, let's say, big in dimension. For sure, Philippines, it's a smaller economy than Taiwan, but it's big.
Okay, that's the how to say the Taiwanese government relationship with Philippines doesn't have we don't have much relationship. The main relationship is that we have many Philippine workers in Taiwan. It's considered to more than 100,000 people. It's a very large population because Philippine people can accept the low salary in Taiwan. So we allow many Philippine people to Taiwan and they speak English or Chinese as well. The main relationship between Taiwan and Philippines is the work cooperation. We import a lot of the foreign workers from Philippines to Taiwan for working. Yeah, so the relationship between the Taiwan and Philippines are always to be neglected, but the relationship between Philippines and China are always to be discussed. For example, in the January or maybe 13 or 14, after the Taiwanese election, Philippine president congratulated the Taiwanese president. Okay, correct. You got elected. Yeah. But China said, okay, Taiwan is not a country. Maybe Philippine president should read a book to learn the knowledge, the correct knowledge of China. So the Philippine president aspect, okay, this is China. What do we expect? We don't expect China. This is China. Okay, this is their characteristic. So this is something I heard, I see in the Taiwanese social media or in the news. This kind of like a diplomatic insult. So this is something about the Taiwan and Philippines. But the relationship between Taiwan and Japan are really strong, really close, because that the main trade route of the Japan is to pass by the Taiwan Strait. So the conflict between Republic of China and Taiwan will affect very strongly of the Japanese trade. And the Japanese is a country which most rely on trade to feed themselves because Japanese doesn't have much resource. It use the import and the export, some export industry to feed themselves. So Japan are always nervous about the conflict between the China and Taiwan. And Taiwan has very strong relationship with Japan because Taiwan is not friendly with China. So we can only rely on Japan. And on January 1st, China, the north part of Japan has a very severe earthquake and many people died. And Taiwanese people had allocated about at least $3 million, at least $3 million USD, but I forgot the total amount, in 1 week and sent to Japan. And Japanese people, of course, thanks Taiwan a lot. So this is the main recent incident between the Japan and China. And after between Japan and Taiwan, and aftermath, the relationship between the Japan and Taiwan will just be strengthened. We will get better. We will have better relationship. So we highly care about the Japanese relationship. Yeah.
So let's. I wanted to ask another question about China that I already said to you in advance. So let's put this one. It's a little bit divided, but let's say MSCI dropped 66 companies from China index amid markets slump stocks. So let's say MSCI is cutting dozens of companies from its benchmark China after a prolonged sell-off and volatile trading in the second largest economy. So I was checking also, as we already talked about the real, let's say, the stock exchange market in comparison between Hang Seng and Taiwan. Let's say that in Taiwan, in the last 5 years, it's like going up, like S&P 500 in US, and the China's market is going down. Especially in the last 2 years, there was like a huge loss between like, let's say, the Chinese main companies. And what could be, in your opinion, like this signal that there is a prolonged, let's say, sell-off of this stock exchange market, option and stocks, plus that let's say the actual Chinese situation, it's in a stagnation where the prices are going down, but also the production prices is going down in China. So there is like no inflection but deflection, and the economy is not going well. What is your opinion about what is happening, and if there is any effect also on Taiwan?
The problem is that the recession, I mean the economy drop in China has many factors, and it's a very complicated problem. Maybe I cannot finish it in this episode, but I can say the most recent. One incident is that China has published its GDP among the GDP growth rate. It said, the GDP growth rate is about 5%. It's about 5%. But actually, this 5% is calculated by the renminbi. It's the China's currency, not USD. But normally, the USD, the GDP should be calculated by USD. But this time, they calculate by renminbi. Why? Because the renminbi has a lot of inflation. So it can make the economy data better. But if you there are one foreign Chinese blogger has calculated the real GDP in China. It might be maybe -2% to -5% growth last year. But the problem is that the China has because China is a high very quickly developed country, because they have a 15-year time. The Chinese GDP growth rate is about 10% per year. So the Chinese economy grows up very fast, really fast. So the government just postpone the social justice, social inequality problem inside China, like that the people in Shanghai has a higher people in Shanghai has a higher rate, 就是 higher salary, while the people in the Xi'an, in the Xinjiang, in the west part of China doesn't have any charity, and they are still poor. There are many kind of inequality inside China because of the high GDP growth rate, so everyone can be benefited by the GDP growth. But currently, the GDP has finally the GDP growth got minus last year. So the economy dropped down, and the social inequality problem has just announced. And the second part is that the Chinese government published this 5% GDP growth rate data. This is fabricated. I mean, this is a lie. So, but every Chinese citizen know this is a lie because their salary doesn't have growth, and many of them got fired by the company. So they know government are lying. So because the distrust against the government, so they will pour out their money from the stock market. So the stock market will definitely go down because the Chinese government is dishonest, is untrustworthy. And people know that it's untrustworthy, so they will draw out the stock market amount. So the amount is going to recession. And China government, because of that, the stock market is a very important index, because if when the stock market goes down, there will be a lot of social instability happening in China. So they try to save the stock market, but it's failed. It's still failed. But currently the stock market still goes down, and today the factor why the China has the economy crash this time. One thing is a real estate. The another thing is the U.S. the West, the sanction from West. The other thing is that because in the past 20 years it goes too fast, so it's the golden period, the golden growth period has finally stopped. So it will come to its essence, because you cannot grow 10% per year in 30 or 15 years. You will just grow to maybe more than $10,000, then you cannot make much economic growth. So this is the bottleneck which China had encountered. Why the China has a recession is very complex problem, because it has many factors combined together. But
Cheng, just a question: do you think also the crack of Evergrande and Country Garden had some connection with it, like that the Chinese government subsidized a lot, the real estate business, and there was not a lot of buyers, but they built a lot of buildings, but there was no real demand from the market, and this to big let's say company collapsed, and there is some effect on the economy, or no?
You mean the real estate company like the Hengda?
Evergrande and Country Garden, the two biggest.
Evergrande, yeah, Evergrande. Evergrande is a problem of the Chinese systematic flaw, because the Chinese systematic has one flaw or one niche, or you can say one bug for the Evergrande. The Evergrande is that you can have a lot of you can lend a lot of money and to build a house, and have another money and use this money to lend another money. But it's a very Evergrande in the last 10 years, they use very, very aggressive, very, very high risk way to invest the real estate. I cannot say whether this part of the economic rule is designed or is just a mistake. I think this more can to be designed because use the this system encourage the Chinese company to use a very aggressive, very high risk way to do the massive investment so that the China's economy can have a very, very fast growth. But like I said, this kind of high risk investment, when it doesn't have the high repay, it will collapse very quickly. And this year, the last year, Evergrande is just that correct collapse. But the problem of the Evergrande has happened since 2019. So this company actually has sustained 4 years not to collapse until last year, 2023. It cannot sustain anymore. And the Chinese government's attitude is that this Evergrande is too large to be saved because you need to put maybe 1 trillion renminbi, maybe the billions, hundreds of billions of US dollars to save the company, and this is totally irreasonable. You cannot save one company and to affect all your government policy. So the China government decided to make it bankrupt. So yeah, but Evergrande is a very big. But the problem is that this Evergrande problem, because China is different to United States. United States people doesn't have much deposit. So when the real estate crash come here, many people will just don't have any preparation, and they got fired immediately. They don't have job, they don't have deposit inability. But China has a habit of depositing money. So Chinese people has more endurance capability to endure the economic crash. And the last thing is that the bad news in China are all forbidden because Chinese government doesn't like someone to criticize them, so they hide all the bad news. So actually, even in Taiwan, we cannot sure how big is the scale of the how big is
And
the
sorry,
consequence. Yeah.
about bad news, then we will move to Ukraine. Last question to have like the stream maximum 45 minutes, as I said to you. So, do you think that at the moment there is still a little bit of, let's say, freedom of speech and free news from Hong Kong, or no?
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah.
Foxconn. Oh, so you mean Foxconn, the Taiwanese?
No, not Foxconn. Hong Kong.
Oh, Hong Kong.
Uh-huh.
But actually, Hong Kong, the Hong Kong, how to say? Hong Kong is a gate. Hong Kong is a gate to China. I mean, the investment of Hong Kong is that in the 1997, when Hong Kong just got returned to China, because Hong Kong has still the British law system, and it had high transparency. So the foreign company, the global company, would like to stay in the location which has a similar law system like them. So they put a company in Hong Kong and make the and make money from China. So like the Hong Kong is just like one big bank of the Chinese economy. But this is the 1997 case. But since 2013, the status of the Hong Kong, because Hong Kong is going to more and more, it's going to have more and more autocracy, because like 2019, Hong Kong has outraged massive protests to save their democracy and freedom. But the result is they failed. So for the foreign countries, they think, oh, Hong Kong is not appealing anymore. So they move the Hong Kong company to the Singapore. So now the Singapore is their respect. Is their I'll say is their backup. So they move to Singapore gradually. But the problem is the main business are still in China. Just the headquarters is in Singapore. The Hong Kong
Okay.
is the pair for the headquarters. Yeah.
So let's move to a little bit to Ukraine and Russia. So I will have like another stream at 6 with like let's say two guys from a Telegram channel that is Slaviangrad, Lord of War. So it's like a translated version of pro-Russian source. And I'm interested to ask to them their point of view about what is happening now. Let's discuss with you about our point of view. So later I will listen to them. But the question is, what in this situation, like, can you define how the Russian victory figures? Like, let's say, if there is a way like to arrive to a peace treaty in the Ukrainian scenario, especially in the actual situation, and with the news of today, because let me say to you, Cheng, today there was three strange news connected, and then we can chat a little bit. This news of today, the F-16 jets may arrive in Ukraine in June. Could it? So it's like 6 hours ago. And today and yesterday, other two strange news connected. Let's say Czech Republic find let's say around 1 million shells of artillery to give it to Ukraine, magically found. And today also Denmark said that will donate all the artillery and the anti-air weapons that they have to Ukraine. So it's strange for me that there is Advika and magically F-16 and artillery is coming. It's something that is moving and changing in the scenario very fast. So what is your opinion about what is happening in Ukraine and like your point of view about this scenario?
Okay, the F-16 is a problem. The problem is that how much the F-16s will be sent to Ukraine is still questionable, because that Denmark had only 18 F-16s. But the Denmark political situation is very pro-Ukraine, so you can basically assure that 18 F-16 can be sent to Ukraine. But the problem is that the Netherlands has at first 42, but it currently add to maybe 46 or 48. I forgot the problem. So the F-16 jet from the Netherlands will be a game changer because it got the 46 and the 46.
If I can add to what I said, like it was like a foreign policy news of today, like 6 hours ago, and they said that by this fiscal year there will be ready to be operative 12 Ukrainian F-16 pilot. So we are talking now about 12. That on the scenario of 1,000 kilometer of let's say battlefield, it's not a big number.
1,000, yeah. I think the most people Ukraine can guard the F-16 is just city to F-16 jets. But why the number of the F-16 jet matters? Because that we use the Lancaster law to predict the military account. But if you only have 18 jets in Ukraine, it will have little effect. But if you can have the 62, more than 60 Ukraine have still jets, and maybe it can fight several little scale fight with Russia and trade the Su-34, Su-35 gradually, one by one. It have many the strategy. Its strategy elastic. The strategy will be very elastic, so it can gradually change the Russian's airplane until the Russian airplane goes a very low degree. So if Ukraine has more than 60 of those jets, it can be a game changer to significantly reduce the air superiority capability of Russia. But if the Netherlands cannot send 46 F-Steel jet to Ukraine, because now Netherlands was controlled by pro-Russian party, and many people are tired of helping Ukraine year by year. So Netherlands is very high possibility not to send 42 jet to Ukraine. So if Ukraine can only have Denmark's 18 fighter jet, I think it will have little help. It won't be a game changer. So it depends on whether the Netherlands can send the F-16 or not. But personally, I don't believe Netherlands will send F-16 jet to Ukraine because the domestic polity situation is now very unfriendly to Ukraine. So I think maybe Ukraine dream will work. So I don't think the F-16 will be good this year.
And like your opinion about what is happening, maybe it's not a forecast or a prediction, but now with the changing of let's say the top general between Zaluzhny and Siersky, and the actual retreat from Advika, because I was checking about a little bit the maps. Now there is like 3 defense line behind Advika, but it's in fields. So it's not well fortified like Advika. So what could be, let's say, the Ukrainian strategy for the next months? Because technically the field will be easier to make an offensive Russian or Ukrainian side, I think, in 1 month and a half, 2 months, where like we will have no snow and no mud in the Ukrainian fields anymore. So what is your opinion about what could happen, and what could be, let's say, the advantage for the Russian or for the Ukrainians in this phase?
Let me share my opinion about Ukraine in next 2 months. I think that both Ukrainian army and the Ukrainian government will be very crippled in next 2 months, because that's at first the general has changed from the Zaluzhny to the Siersky, and the second is their defeat from the Avdiivka. The first thing I need to mention is that the Ukraine has the strategy mistake, because the government has its propaganda system. So it always say, okay, Ukrainians, go and fighting, and we will be victory this year, or okay, go Ukraine, we will fighting, and we will be victory next year. So the problem is that initially people think the government's saying, but after the defeat of the Avdiivka, majority of the Ukrainians doesn't believe the government anymore, because you say, oh, you say we can win this year or next year, so we do the 100% fully strength to devote it to victory, but now we defeated 1 battle. So now the Ukrainian government is not credible anymore. Okay, so this is the strategic disadvantage, but because in the past, Ukrainian government, it tends to only share the good news and hide the bad news, like hide the casualty, like hide the corruption problem, or and something else. They hide to the domestic Ukrainian people. They also hide to NATO and United States. And the another consequence of this propaganda strategy is that people in Ukraine doesn't know why the Zelensky need to be changed, because they think Zelensky did a great job. He wins the battle in Kiev, and it had nothing. There's nothing reason to repair the Zelensky. I have written an article, use the American Civil War, the Abraham Lincoln, to repair his general. His repaired when he repaired the General McKinley. He so he had detailedly concerned about the consequence, because he think, oh, people, soldiers admired the McKinley much, so I cannot replace him in a very bad morale. I need to change him after my status is stable. So, but now the Zelensky has replaced Zelensky in a very bad situation. That means currently now the morale of the Ukrainian army is very low, and the distrust to the Zelensky grows out and grows up, because the Zelensky has a nickname called the Bakhmut blunder. It means he sent soldiers to die in Bakhmut last year. So because of this, Zelensky had basically was disliked by the majority of the Ukrainian soldiers. So currently, the Ukrainian army needs maybe 2 months to redirect themselves and to reconstruct their political their power structure, and to get the morale again. So these 2 months will be very critical to Ukraine. But against Russia, although Russia has gained the Avdiivka, but the problem is that the corruption. I saw the corruption situation in Russia. It got worsened than the last year. It's got worse and worse. So that means the Russia will have still have a risk of the logistics shortage. So I don't think that after the gain of Avdiivka, the Russia can have a much big advance. I think the war line will be stopped, and the inner part of Russia will have some protester, or even the coup, or something else unstable situation. Currently, that the Navalny was killed by Putin. Okay, although the world say that he died in one year, but okay, in general, people believe that Putin killed him. But why the Putin must kill him? In my comprehension, I think that if we saw the path of the Navalny in the last 10 years, Putin only do something to Navalny when he think the domestic situation is not very stable, like he may face some restriction or accusation. He will to oppose Navalny and do something to something harm to Navalny, to make Navalny a symbol. Okay, if you oppose me, Navalny is your model. You will be the next. And I think today why the Putin need to kill the Navalny, because Putin feel threatened, because after 1 month there will have an election. Putin apparently doesn't have very good confidence about the election result, although we know that Putin will win the 2024 election, right? But it seems that Putin is not, it feels uncertain about it, so he needs to do something else. But currently for Russia, inside Russia, the political status is very unstable. And this year in Russia, inside Russia, because the Ukraine has found that, okay, 90% of the Russian oil, the main revenue of the Russian economy, is on the Black Sea and the St. Petersburg. They can use the drone to attack. So I think that today, this year, maybe Ukraine will lose them, but they found a better way, more effective way to block the Russian oil by block them physically. They use the drone to destroy them. This is more powerful than the Western sanction. So I think that today the Russian economy will have a recession. The economy fall of the Russia, the economy decline of Russia will be at same level as China. Yeah, this is my prediction of the next development. Okay.
If I can add like the last thing, and then we will close. Your opinion, because like in the last months, let me share like some slides only to show to the people. So this is not super updated, but it's updated to February. To January, we can see that there is a drop of oil, especially of pipeline gas, because for sure pipeline gas is going to European Union. But I want to show that the data of daily flows of let's say gain of Russian Federation was let's say 70% from European Union. So we can see that there is like the light blue chart that is going down and down and down, and now it's less than 100 million euro like for day. Before it was over 600, so it's like 1/6 of what it was. And this pipeline gas, it's mainly going to Ukraine, Slovakia, Bulgaria, and Czech Republic, because it's the only states without the access of sea, and Serbia, but it's not European Union. If we check, it's very interesting data. Let me move fastly about who is importing in state. Like the first importer, it's still China. Second, it's Turkey, and third, it's India. And before, the biggest was India. Why there is this collapse from December? Because there was problems in payments, because India wanted to pay only rupee, and now Russia is flooded in rupee, and they doesn't know what to do in rupees, because it's not US dollars or whatever, or euro. And it's a huge problem, because if you don't have supplier like Russia that can give like cheap oil to India, or for example also to Singapore. Singapore was a big buyer to sell to other countries, also Saudi Arabia. It's very strange because there was a big import of oil from Saudi Arabia, but it's a producer, only to resell it. But as you said, because you are next to this information, so let me close on this. Do you think that, especially in the last months, there is like some changement about the second level sanction, especially to third countries like China and Turkey, that were cooperating with Russia to cheating like the first level sanction? Because I read articles that China is starting to stop, let's say, transfer with Russian companies, and the same for Turkey. So something changed. Do you think they are afraid of the second level sanctions? What do you think?
Okay. Currently, the Taiwan has one issue that the people find that the Taiwanese people has sent the machine the machine to creating crew, this kind of the tool machine to Russia via Turkey, and the Taiwanese government officials that say, oh, okay, we must stop this to avoid the further sanction. But the problem is that because if you want to pose a sanction, you need to ask the request for Turkey, just because but Turkey apparently it doesn't want the sanction to Russia, so the sanction will become very hard for Taiwan to ban it. I don't think Taiwan will ban the tool machine successfully. The next step is that now Russia has a good relationship with the Republic. I have seen one news today, but I don't know whether it's true or not, is that Russian oil company has sent a lot of money to the Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the Congress in United States. And currently, the Congress of Mike Johnson has just blocked every aid to Ukraine aid to Ukraine or aid to Taiwan or aid to Israel. It literally block everything. The political strategy of the GOP is just like the house of cards. Because it wants the Democrat to weak. It cannot do anything. Because it cannot do anything. So people in the next election will vote to the Republicans. I think that the Republican strategy is this. So I don't think there will be any second level sanction in United States. And for European, I don't think so either, because due to this sanction, European has a very high inflation rate, and currently the inflation problem is still not be solved by the EU Parliament. So because now the people has a severe problem with the inflation, so I also don't think that the sanction will work. Second sanction will work in Europe, so I don't think there will have further tension about it. Yeah.
So perfect. Thank you, Cheng, for your time. I know that it's late there, so thank you for your time and during this night time. So for everybody that was on live and for everybody who will watch like the video after, please go to the Cheng channel. There is like YouTube channel, Twitter, and you can go inside and subscribe to him. And the next weeks I will plan some other streaming, also with some round table surprise, and we will have another stream today at 6 in 1 hour and a half. So if you are interested in some questions about especially Ukraine and the Russian front and whatever, return back in 1 hour and a half. So thank you so much, Cheng, and good night.
Good night. Thank you.